Guess who's back, motherfuckers? Yep, this is Golubnichii, and I'm gonna talk about Shopify. But. No strategies, no over the shoulder, nothing like that in this video. In this video, let's just focus on the business side because everybody trying to make this internet thing look sexy, and everybody just want to make it their way, you know. And I'm not talking about the successful guys, because if you're successful and you do it your way, I'm applauding, you know, I'm gonna get my hat off. But if you're just starting and you're getting some advices and you're still not using these advices and you still want to do it your way, well, it's gonna be a bitter way that you have to walk through. Now, what do I mean by that? Before we even start, I want to talk about the financial part of the e-commerce. Of course, everybody wants to do e-commerce, and that's why we're in it. So the financial part would be the most important part. But let's talk about percentages. They say that a good percentage would be 30% profit when you make your sales on Shopify, and this is something you gotta remember. Now, if you're starting, and I'm gonna be honest, my percentage is somewhere around 20%. So if you're starting, if your email marketing isn't on point and you're just looking at the profit on your front end, you're probably gonna look at something like 20, maybe 15% profit. Now, how much do you need to spend in order to get any amount of profit? Usually it's gonna be 20% advertisement spent. Okay, are you following? So if you take the whole pie, the 100% of the sales that you made the same day, or let's talk about daily, you made $1,000, and this is what everybody is aiming for. We want to make $1,000. Well, to make $1,000, if you already found the product, if you already tested the website, if you already found the theme, you found the right applications, you know, the right apps for Shopify, and you have the right retargeting system, if you have everything in place, okay, and you already spent all this money on testing, you're gonna look at least $200 on a daily spend. Now, it's kind of easy, right? Because if I'm telling you need to spend 200 to make another 200 in profit, because if you're gonna spend 200, it's gonna be 20% out of the 1,000. Plus, it's gonna be around $200 that you're gonna make in profit in the worst case, if everything goes well. And it's 100% ROI, which sounds really cool, right? And everybody like, yeah, I want to jump and I want to do that. Well, this is after the testing. So even if you tested everything, the other factor that most of the people don't take into account is the time that the money takes to get to you. And this is another factor, and it's pretty important as you go and you try to scale your campaigns, because yes, I know Shopify pays you or PayPal pays you, and it's only a few days the difference, you know, you just before you fulfill your orders, you need to make sure that you get the money, but it doesn't happen all the time, especially in the weekends. So you gotta know, what are you gonna do about that? What are your numbers? What is your end outcome that you're looking for? Because most of the people, they're just looking on the sexy way, you know. They like to share the screens, they like to talk about vacationing and having fun, but it's a business after all. You need to get the credit card line, and you have to have a high limit on the credit cards if you're in the United States, which is can be kind of an easy task. But if we're talking about people that are doing it in Israel, like many of the people that I helped out from Israel, it's going to be kind of a challenge, because you know, you need to have a daily limit of at least $200 every day. And we're talking about weekends, and sometimes in the weekends you're not gonna get your money, so you need to be prepared for that. So before you start in making this Shopify and e-commerce to a sexy business, and before you start to think that you're gonna go and travel the world and your life will change, I mean, it's all possible, but before you do all of that, you know, and you daydream, you gotta understand that you have to figure out the financial part. You have to put all the, you know, all the tools, or how do you say that, you just gotta have to do your homework. I think this is what I'm trying to say. You just gotta understand that if you want to make $1,000 a day, this is how much you're gonna spend, at least 200, and this is after the testing and after everything, and I'm talking just on one product. Now, if you're doing it the right way, the $200 that you spend on advertising your winning product will bring you $1,000 sales if everything goes by plan. But on top of that, you're gonna have to test another products, because this is what we do. We test products all the time. And you're gonna test other ad sets, you're gonna test other ad copy. So basically, it's not even $200, it's even more than that, because you always want to make sure that you're selling whatever works today, and you're looking for the great product that's gonna sell tomorrow. So this is not to discourage you guys, this is not to just make you feel like this thing is impossible and stuff like that, but it's just for you to understand that you're gonna have to spend some time understanding when you're gonna get all these finances. And once you're gonna do that, nobody talks about it, unfortunately. Once you're gonna do that, everything else will be a little bit more simple, because I didn't know that, and it took me a long time to, you know, I was stuck on $10,000 a month because I didn't have the finance, because it's, you know, it's a challenge to spend more money. You try to test products, you try to invest in the product that sells the best, and you try to, you know, divide the budget that you have, and your budget is somewhere around $100. This was my budget for the last like few months. So you work only with $100, and even if you have everything goes for you, and even if you sell everything and everything goes good, if you don't have the money to invest, you won't be able to get to 100K. I basically can get to 100K right now, but I just don't have the money to spend, and it doesn't matter how money I get back because I don't have the limits yet. And you know, it takes time. If you're opening a business for your first time, or you're getting the credit card for your first time, if you're in the United States, you're gonna have to have at least 6 months of solid, you know, returns for the credit card payments, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to get a higher limit for a credit card. And this is something you got to remember. So again, guys, if you are planning to do e-commerce and stuff like that, just make sure you're gonna figure out all these things before you start. You figure out that you have the limit, you figure out that you have the money to spend, that you already have the strategy to do that. And after that, everything is gonna be pretty simple, I promise you, because testing products and reading data on the daily basis and doing customer service and, you know, product research and all of that, this is kind of systematic. It's not that complicated. You don't have to be a genius, but many people fail because they didn't figure out the first part, because they start, they want to make it sexy, you know, they have maybe $500 and they're like, yay, I have $500, now I'm gonna make it into like thousands of dollars and it's gonna be wonderful. But you're gonna be stuck. You're gonna be stuck pretty early on, because you're not gonna have enough capital to start this business. Even if everything goes well, and even if your product is the best-selling product that Shopify has ever seen, it's still gonna be a challenge. So guys, again, step by step, make sure you get the limits. Make sure you build the business plan. Remember that most of the stores that are successful, they make around 30, maybe 35% profit. If you start and you don't have the back end and you don't have the email marketing and stuff, you might be looking at something like 15%, 1.5 to 20%. And out of that, you know, you're gonna have to spend around 20 to 30% of the sales that you're gonna make every day, you're gonna spend it on advertising. So this is basically my numbers that I've saw. So if you want to make $1,000, you have to spend at least 200 on the campaign that gets you the sales for the best product with the best ad copy, yada, yada, yada. So did you get it, guys? Make sure that before you make it sexy, you do your homework, because if you prepare, and you prepare with the end result in mind, and you know that you're doing it for the long run, and you're not doing it for making another, you know, 10 sales and saying you figure out Shopify. If you're doing it to get 10 sales in an hour, and you're doing it to get $100,000 in a month, you gotta remember that the homework is even more important, and the preparing is even more important than finding the right product. Okay, because somebody who has the money, if he's gonna find the product even after you, and he's not gonna have the best ad copy, and he's not gonna have the best converting page, but he's gonna have more money than you, and he's gonna be more prepared, most probably he's gonna win this race, and most probably he's gonna outbid you, and he will be willing to spend a little bit more money to get the same customer, and he's gonna put you, he, she, business, whatever, you know what I mean, the other person, okay, is gonna put you out of business. So do the preparation you need to do. If you have additional questions, you can always comment below. You can always send me personal messages on Facebook. And of course, stay positive, keep testing, keep doing. If you think I can do it in a better way, you know, just send me a message, thumbs up, share this content. See you next time.